Football 101 with Steve Morrison. I am Michael Spath, and we're breaking down Michigan's 78-0 victory over Rutgers. We're going to have a lot of fun plays to go through, but early in the game with the offense struggling, the defense needed to carry the Wolverines, and at 11:46 of the first quarter, Taco Charlton, within 2 seconds of the snap, is getting in to sack the quarterback.
Yeah, this is a big third down in the game. Obviously, we're trying to build the momentum part of it, and so they're just going to, in a 3-by-1 in a bunch set, and we're going to play our bracket coverage that we like to play on third down. We're going to have 4-on-3 here into the boundary and really taking away any of those quick inside routes. Charlton's just going to speed rush off the edge, does a nice job of just dipping and ripping and then turn his hips vertical sideways to the quarterback. And like you said, Michael, he's in there in an earshot, nowhere to throw the ball, and it's a nice turnover for us.
Steve, 8:25 to go in the first quarter. Michigan needed some type of offensive spark, and they put Jabril Peppers in at Wildcat. We'd seen this against Wisconsin last week where he handed the ball off, and today, for the first time in the season, he carried it and really just took over at that point.
Yeah, and this is exactly the spark that we needed. Defense is playing well. Offense hasn't moved the ball all that well the first couple of drives, and it's just going to be a little split zone read that, like you said, Michael, that they've run the first couple of games of the year. And we actually get a breakdown here with, I think, the back going the wrong way. But Pepper's just going to read the end. He's going to turn his shoulders, and it's just a foot race outside. And he ends up in a position where really Rutgers defensively is pretty good. I mean, they still have two guys out there on the perimeter. It's just great speed by Peppers to get outside and then eventually get it outside enough where he can turn it upfield into a big run. And again, sparking this offense into what we're going to see here over the next 3 quarters.
Steve, the very next play, Michigan scores on a 4-yard touchdown run by Ty Isaac, where he walks into the end zone, largely because you say that because Michigan designs a scheme where probably confuses Rutgers and gets the Scarlet Knights to think the ball's coming up the middle, but instead they sweep out to the right.
Yeah, they got the big gainer here with Peppers outside, and we got a 1st and goal inside the 4-yard line, and that's Michigan's MO to try to pound it up in there, and they're going to come out with their goal line defense and do a nice job here of running one of our kind of what I would think are our bread and butter plays, the outside toss play where we pull the interior lineman. And Michigan does a nice job schematically getting the look they like. They're going to keep Butt in the backfield and stem him up to the front late and really get the surface that they want with the 1 technique and the 5 technique, able to pull that stuff. And again, it's at that point we get enough guys on the perimeter blocking, and it's just Isaac walking in.
Steve, 4:25 to go in the first quarter here, and Rutgers runs a play that Michigan's been very successful at, the jet sweep, and Mike McCray from the back side of this play comes all the way across and makes the stop when and keeps Rutgers from getting upfield with this run.
Yeah, and this is something that we see a handful of times in this game and haven't really seen it the last couple of weeks, and it's just an odd man front and going to run a very traditional blitz into this run where we're going to take the end and long scoop him down to the A-gap. Gideon, the inside linebacker, is going to scrape blitz off of his butt, and then you're going to have a guy on the edge in Peppers. People call it America's Fire Zone, and really the weakness or the soft spot of that is when you run into it, there could always be a crease between the outside blitzer and the inside scrape blitzer, and McCray does a great job of seeing the run and playing fast over the top and getting up in there and making the tackle.
First play of the second quarter, a 6-yard touchdown run by Jabril Peppers, and the thing that stands out to me about this play is that he does look like he's in a position to throw the ball. Rutgers just plays it pretty well, but that's got to be setting up the future on when they're running the Wildcat with Jabril Peppers.
Yeah, I think there's no doubt they're going to give him the opportunity to throw the football here, and sometime soon. I think this was one of those situations. It's a really nice time. We just got a big turnover by the defense inside the red zone, and we have been running a lot of just zone read with Peppers. We're just going to bootleg them, and it's a 2-man route to the top with a little smash concept, and we've got the drag from the bottom. But he looks out there. He's got one man to beat, and he puts a good move on him and walks into the end zone. Just a great athletic play.
About 12:40 to go in the second quarter, and the first of 2 very long runs from Chris Evans. And Steve, you point out that the key to this whole play is Mason Cole, the center, who was able to play center because Juwan Bushell-Beatty came back in at left tackle after an early injury.
Yep, and so you're exactly right. Rutgers' game plan coming into this was to get an eighth guy down in the box, and the way they were going to do it is walk their strong safety up in behind the linebackers. And if you watch this play, Mason Cole's going to have the backside backer, and he gets upfield so quickly and so fast, almost meets the linebacker about 4 or 5 yards of depth, blocks him, and ends up knocking off that safety, which really we don't have a hat for. And that's going to be the first thing that allows Evans to split into the secondary, and then it's just some great running with him making some moves and just doing a heck of a job getting it down in there tight.
11-18 of the second quarter, and again Rutgers tries to run the jet sweep, and this time they get absolutely nothing. In fact, they go 5 yards backwards when Ben Gedeon shoots between a gap in the offensive line and their blocking scheme, and just absolutely destroys this kid.
Yeah, and again, it's a little wrinkle that we have this week with our three-man front. We're going to bring edge pressure, and then we're going to take the defensive end and long stick him inside and scrape the backer. Here in this case, it's Gideon right off of his butt, and it just opens up a clear lane, and it's almost unfair. How quick and how fast he gets through the line, and just makes a great tackle. But again, things that we've changed up a little bit, and it's been a great answer for this jet sweep for them.
Early in the third quarter, 10-42, John O'Corn is in the game as the backup quarterback, and throws his first touchdown pass of the season to Khalid Hill, who is a touchdown machine. 8 touchdowns now in the year and 21 touches.
Yeah, this is one of the benefits of having this type of game where you really perform well in the first half, get a lot of points, you get a lot of the opportunity to get some guys in that haven't played. And this is a nice job of O'Corn just simply going through his progressions. You're going to see they're trying to get some crossing routes. Hill is involved in protection, and he's going to be a late check release out to the flat. Nothing really open through the middle, and he just hits his check down player like he should and walks in for a touchdown.
Steve, the second long run by Chris Evans, about 9 minutes to go in the third quarter. The entire backup offensive line is in the game, and they move to the left, and Bradison kicks out to the right, and really just opens up a pretty big hole for Evans.
Yeah, and this is power football, and they're just going to run power to the right. And again, it's Rutgers being in their 8 and 9 man box here against Michigan, and it's just blocked really well. And like you said, Michael, with the youth that we have running it, they just do a great job. You've got Bradison on the pull and through, and then you've got Henderson on the kick out block, and then just Chris Evans really driving it hard up inside and letting that hole develop, and then he's off to the races.
Steve, the very next play is a 15-yard touchdown run by Karan Higdon, who I really like as a potential number one back for Michigan. And again, the backups are in the game, and they just do a nice job creating an opportunity for Higdon to get through, and he gets upfield very quickly.
Yeah, and the other thing too, this is, like you said, this is their backups, and you're going to see a pressure here from Rutgers pouring one of the linebackers up through the A-gap, and they pick it up. And, it just speaks to how well these guys are trained, and they may be backups, but they're certainly in a position to know what they're doing, and it's obvious by the fact that they pick it up, and then we drive it in here for a nice touchdown run.
Steve, the backups are in the game, 4:22 to go in the third quarter, and a little flare-out pass out in the flat that is really well diagnosed by Michigan, the fact that they have 3 defenders that close on this play.
Yeah, and again, it's one of the same pressures we've been really having success with the whole game. We're going to bring in edge pressure and push the backer from the inside, and they get the ball out quick on the perimeter, and those are some of the things you worry about. But again, you've got some young guys in there, and they do a fantastic job of corralling the football, and you got Hudson and Watson out there that just get up and make the play, and like they've done it 100 times.
12:45 to go in the fourth quarter, and Bobby Henderson, a walk-on fifth-year senior, scores on a touchdown on a trap play. Take us through it, Steve.
Well, these are plays that remind me of a year ago. We had the fullbacks that we had, and this is just an old-school football type of play. It's just going to be a trap. You're going to get Bradison pulling out and onto the three technique, and Bobby Henderson's just going to hit that hole right off the kick-out block and just take it up inside with a good, strong run. But again, it just speaks to the playbook that you've got and the kids that run it, and just a fun play to watch.
Our final play of the game, it's about 9:20 to go in the fourth quarter, and it is Karan Higdon's touchdown run, his long touchdown run on a running back draw here.
Yeah, and we actually scored on this a few weeks back against Colorado or Penn State, I believe it was, with the draw game, and just going to have it sets up nicely with the quarterback and the opening the opposite way of the back, but really a nice job up front from some of our reserve offensive linemen. You've got Ubizio as a left tackle that does a great job of posting and clubbing the defensive end by, and still having enough wherewithal to get up and climb on the second level backer. And then Kugler doing a great job of getting to the second level backer as well and open up some space and catch a team in some man coverage with some eyes downfield and off to the races.